Angus turned 30 and decided to throw himself a party. He didn't expect much, just a few family members, drinks, and maybe some laughter to mark the milestone. He booked a cozy bar lounge, bought a cake, and sent out the invites. As the evening crept closer, Angus checked his phone repeatedly. 7 p.m., nothing. 8 p.m., still nothing. By 9 o'clock, it was clear no one was coming. He looked at the bartender, who gave him a sympathetic half-smile. "You all right, man?" the bartender asked. Angus forced a laugh. "Yeah, just running late, I guess." The bartender nodded and set a whiskey in front of him. On the house, Angus thanked him, cut a small slice from the untouched cake, and ate it alone, pretending not to notice the pitying glances from other patrons. At around 10 o'clock, he finally gave up. He packed up the cake, left a tip, and walked home, replaying every message he had sent. Did he do something wrong? Was there an inside joke he missed? A week later, Angus was in the middle of a work call when his phone buzzed with a group text from his mother. He swiped to read it. "Hey family, your dad's 50th birthday is coming up. We're doing it at the Lakeside Resort. It'll be an unforgettable night. Cost is $1,800 per person. Please Venmo me by Friday. Love you all." Angus blinked at the screen. Was this some sort of prank? No mention of his birthday, no apology for the party they ignored, just a demand for money. Then his sister, Fiona, chimed in. "Already sent, Mum. Can't wait. Dad will love it." His brother, Hamish, followed. "Same here, looking forward to it." Angus felt something snap. He didn't even get a happy birthday from any of them, no text, no call, but now he was supposed to shell out nearly $2,000 for his father's birthday. He thought about saying something, but instead, he just opened Venmo, sent $1, and added a note, "Congratulations." Then he changed the locks on his door, blocked every number in the family group chat, and sat down with a heavy sense of relief. 2 days passed. Nothing. Angus almost thought they'd taken the hint until he got an alert from his bank. Unauthorized attempt to access the joint account. He couldn't help but laugh. Of course. He logged in, closed the account, and moved the remaining funds to a private one. A minute later, Fiona tried calling from a different number. He didn't pick up. Then, on the third night, just as Angus was settling in with a movie, there was a loud, rapid knock at the door. He checked the peephole. 2 police officers. He opened the door cautiously. "Can I help you?" he asked. The taller officer cleared his throat. "We received a report about a missing person. Are you Angus Blair?" Angus stared at them, trying to make sense of the words. "Yes, but I'm not missing." The shorter officer glanced at his notes. "Your family reported you missing. They said they haven't been able to reach you for days and were worried." Angus laughed, the sound more bitter than amused. "Did they also tell you I blocked them?" The officers exchanged a look. The taller one spoke again. "Mind telling us why?" Angus sighed, rubbing his forehead. "They've been trying to access my accounts and take money. I just blocked them to protect myself." The shorter officer raised an eyebrow. "So you're okay, just avoiding contact?" "Exactly," Angus replied firmly. "I'm not missing. I'm just done." They hesitated. "Would you be willing to call them and let them know you're okay? It would clear things up." Angus thought about it for a second, then shook his head. "No. If they keep harassing me, I'll file a restraining order." The officers nodded, clearly relieved they weren't dealing with a crisis. "Understood. Let us know if the situation escalates." When they turned to leave, Angus felt a strange sense of victory until one of them paused at the door. "Mr. Blair, one last thing," the taller officer said, his tone suddenly more serious. "If your family can't reach you, they might escalate this." Angus frowned. "What do you mean by that?" "People can do desperate things when they feel cut off. If they keep calling us, or worse, trying something else, you should be prepared." They left, and Angus stood frozen at the door. This wasn't over. It was just beginning. Angus sat on his couch, staring at his phone. For 2 days, nothing. Silence. He thought they got the message, but then it started. His phone buzzed. Unknown number. He ignored it. Another one. Mum. Declined. Then Dad. Declined. Finally, a text. How could you do this to us? Your father is devastated. Angus tossed the phone aside, trying to breathe. They were trying to guilt-trip him, the same old game, but he was done. A pounding at the door shattered the silence. He looked through the peephole. His mother, Aileen. Her face was tight, lips pressed into a thin, angry line. He opened the door just enough to speak. Go home. Oh, now you're hiding. Her voice was sharp. Your father is beside himself. He thinks you've lost your mind. I'm perfectly sane, Angus replied, voice cold. I just finally decided I'm done being your bank account. Bank account? We are your family, Angus. She tried to push the door open, but he kept his grip firm. You don't turn your back on family. I didn't turn my back. I just stopped paying for your lifestyle, he countered. Her eyes flashed. So this is about money to you? After everything we've done for you? Angus laughed. Everything you've done? Do you mean the guilt trips? The constant demands? The fact that you couldn't even text me on my birthday, but had no problem asking me for nearly $2,000 for Dad's party. That was different, she snapped. Your father deserves a celebration. He's done so much for you. Done so much? Like what? Dismiss me every time I tried to share good news? Ignored me when I needed support? Or maybe you mean how you never had a problem spending my money but couldn't even pretend to care. Watch your mouth, she hissed, her hand gripping the door. You are not too old for me to. To what? Guilt me? Manipulate me? Those tricks don't work anymore. A car pulled up behind her, his father's. He stepped out, looking every bit the disappointed patriarch. Angus, his voice was low, heavy with fake disappointment. What are you doing? Why are you acting like this? I'm acting like someone who's tired of being used. You're making this all about money, he shouted, finally losing his calm facade. Family is about sacrifice, about support. Angus shook his head. No, family is about respect, and you never had any for me. Respect. Aileen laughed, a bitter, sharp sound. We've done everything for you, and this is how you repay us? Everything for me? You mean letting me pay for your house, your vacations, Fiona's wedding, Hamish's college? Or how you didn't even bother showing up for my birthday? Your birthday, his father, Malcolm, scoffed. You're 30. Grow up. Yeah, grow up and keep paying your bills? Not anymore. Malcolm moved closer, voice lowering. We raised you, fed you, educated you. You owe us. I owe you nothing, Angus snapped. Not a cent, not a minute. Nothing. Eileen's voice cracked. You're destroying this family. No, I'm just not letting you destroy me. Suddenly, another car pulled up, his sister Fiona storming out. Are you happy now? Mum's been crying all morning. Dad's blood pressure is through the roof. Spare me the drama, Fiona, Angus shot back. This is what you all do. You play the victim whenever I stop giving you what you want. You're so selfish, you know that? She spat. You always think you're better than us. No, I just finally realized I deserve better than this. Fine. Go be alone then, she screamed, turning to their parents. Let's go. Let him rot. But before they got into their cars, Aileen turned back one last time, her face twisted with fury. You'll come to understand this one day, Angus. You're going to come crawling back, begging for forgiveness. Angus smiled. Don't hold your breath. They left, tires screeching, and the silence that followed felt like a cold, clear sky after a storm. Angus leaned against the door, his pulse racing. Then his phone buzzed. He almost ignored it until he saw the notification, unauthorized login attempt on your bank account. His heart skipped a beat. They were trying to hack his account. Another notification, password reset request received. They were desperate, but they didn't understand. The more they pushed, the harder he'd push back. Angus didn't wait. He opened his banking app and double-checked everything, every account, Every credit card locked, two-factor authentication on everything. Then he went further. He called the bank. Yes, this is Angus Blair. I want to place a security hold on any joint accounts with my family's names. Mr. Blair, are you certain? This will restrict their access entirely. I'm counting on it. The next call was to the mortgage company. His name was still on the house his parents lived in. He co-signed years ago another favor they begged for. He wasn't even sure they were still paying it off. I need to temporarily freeze any changes to the mortgage account under Angus Blair's name, he instructed. Understood, sir, but this may prevent the account holder from making payments. Good. As he hung up, his phone buzzed again. Unknown number. He let it ring, but the messages followed. Angus, what are you doing? You're going to ruin everything. Mom, you have no idea what you're starting. Fiona. Angus ignored them. They wanted chaos? He would give them chaos. Then an email from his lawyer. He was brief and to the point. Angus, your family has tried to remortgage the house without your consent. They need your signature. I blocked the attempt, but they may try something else. Angus's jaw tightened. So, they were trying to take full ownership behind his back. Of course. Another call. This time, he picked up. Angus, it's Dad. Malcolm's voice was low, almost calm, a fake calm, like a storm about to break. Make it quick. Why are you doing this? Freezing the mortgage? Your mother is in tears. We're your family. No, I was your bank account, and now that's over. This is ridiculous. You're hurting everyone. I'm protecting myself. I saw the remortgage attempt. I know what you're trying to do. Silence, then a sigh. We're trying to fix things, Angus. You're the one making it impossible. Fix things? Or just take everything while you still can. You're a burden. Angus hung up. His hands were shaking, but it wasn't fear, it was rage. They thought they could keep using him, draining him, then toss him aside. No, not anymore. He called his lawyer. Lachlan, I want to sell my share of the house. I want it done fast. Angus, that will force them to either buy you out or sell the house. Perfect. Within an hour, Lachlan had sent the paperwork. The message was clear. Either they paid Angus's share or they'd lose the house. Another text lit up his phone. You really want to do this, Angus? Fiona, you're going to destroy everything. Mum's been crying all day. Angus responded, I'm not destroying anything. I'm just taking back what's mine. Silence for an hour, then a new message. Fine. You want a war? You got it. Angus laughed. They were so sure they could scare him, but he had more ammunition. He logged into his email and started a new draft. Subject, financial audit, family expenses. Body, Dear Lachlan, I want a full audit prepared of every expense I've covered for my family over the last 5 years. Mortgage payments, loans, credit card debts, education fees, everything. I want it itemized with dates and amounts. Angus hit send. They wanted to see what he'd done for them? Fine. He'd show them in cold, hard numbers. But he wasn't done. He went through his messages, screenshots, and bank statements, collecting every proof of their manipulation, their pleas for money, their insults. They thought he was weak, that he'd break, but they were about to learn what desperation really looked like. Another loud, insistent knock on the door. Angus checked the peephole. Fiona and Malcolm, their faces twisted with anger. Angus, open this door. Malcolm shouted, his voice muffled but furious. Get out of here, Angus yelled back. We need to talk, Fiona screamed. You can't do this. I already did. You think you can ruin us and walk away? Malcolm knocked on the door loudly. You think you're so smart? I'm smarter than you thought, Angus shot back. Now get off my property before I call the police. Silence. A heavy, thick silence. Then Fiona's voice, low and sharp. You'll see what happens next. They stormed away, and Angus watched through the window as they argued by their car, pointing toward his apartment. Another text flashed. This won't end well for anyone. Angus smiled. They had no idea what they'd started. For the first time in years, he was free. No calls, no messages, no guilt trips disguised as family support. Silence. He filled his days with work, finally catching up on projects he'd ignored. He started going to the gym again, reconnected with a few friends, the ones who didn't disappear at the first sign of trouble. But the silence never lasted. It started with an email from his lawyer. His share of the house had been sold, but it wasn't as simple as he thought. The house wasn't even fully theirs. It was still under a heavy mortgage, and because he co-signed that mortgage, they couldn't sell it without his signature. But instead of asking for his help, they tried to remortgage it without his knowledge. Angus blocked that attempt, so they had one choice left: sell the house, clear the mortgage, and pay him back. But that wasn't enough. Even if they sold the house, it would only cover the mortgage and a small part of what they owed him. Angus got the financial audit he requested, every penny he'd paid for them over the years. Mortgage payments, $78,000. Car loan for Malcolm, $15,000. Fiona's wedding, $22,000. Hamish's college tuition, $36,000. Emergency family support, $51,000. Total, $202,000. Nearly $250,000, and that didn't even include the money he lost trying to please them. Angus sent the audit to their family group chat with a single message: I want it all. Every cent. And that's when the chaos began. First, a call from his father: You've lost your mind. We're your family. You stopped being family the moment you treated me like an ATM. Where do you expect us to get this money? Figure it out. Sell the house, sell the cars. I don't care. You owe me. You're going to destroy us, Angus. No, I'm just taking back what's mine. Next, a text from Fiona. You're so selfish, you know that? Mom is sobbing. Dad looks like he's dying. Are you proud of yourself? Pay up, Fiona. Or don't. But I'm done. Aileen called, her voice cracking with desperation. Angus, please. We can't just give you $202,000. We don't have it. Then sell everything or start working for once. We raised you. We gave you everything. No, I paid for everything. And now you will too. Days turned into weeks. Lachlan kept Angus updated. They put the house on the market, a quick sale, but the market was slow. The price wasn't enough to cover the mortgage and his demand, so they sold the cars first. Malcolm's SUV, then Eileen's sedan, finally even Fiona's car, the one Angus helped her buy. But it still wasn't enough. Angus thought they would give up, but they didn't. Instead, they went to family, begging for loans, spinning their own twisted version of the story. Angus betrayed us. Angus is ruining our lives. Some relatives refused, others lent them small amounts out of pity. But it wasn't enough. Finally, a call from Malcolm. His voice was raw, almost unrecognizable. Angus, we sold the house. We sold the cars. We even pawned your mother's jewelry, and we still don't have enough. Then you keep selling. I want every cent. Silence, then a broken laugh. You know you're killing us. No, you killed yourselves the day you decided I was just a bank account. 2 days later, the transfer arrived, $202,000. Every cent. Angus stared at the number, felt the rush of satisfaction, but also a cold emptiness. He won, but what did he win? Then another text from Fiona. You destroyed everything. Mom is in tears. Dad won't speak. We have nothing. Are you happy now? Yes, but they weren't done. They tried one last thing. Another text from Aileen. Angus, we need to talk. You can't just abandon your family like this. I didn't abandon anyone. I took back what's mine. Family isn't about money, Angus. No, but it was for you. And now it's not. Angus blocked her number. He blocked Malcolm. He blocked Fiona. Then he went to the family group chat, scrolled to the top, and hit Leave Group. For a moment, there was a twisted peace. Silence. Real silence. But not for them. Angus got one last email from his lawyer. They were evicted from the house, couldn't pay rent, couldn't secure a new loan. Homeless. Broken. The family that once used him to stay comfortable was now shattered, and Angus felt nothing. No guilt, no pity, just freedom. For the first time in years, he was no one's bank account. He was just himself. Days turned into quiet evenings. His phone stopped buzzing. His thoughts stopped racing. He wasn't waiting for the next demand. He was just living. Angus hadn't been to the bowling alley in years, but tonight, when his colleague suggested it, he didn't hesitate. Life had become quiet, calm, free, no desperate calls, no guilt trips, just peace. "Angus, you're up," someone shouted. He grabbed the smooth, familiar weight of the bowling ball. Neon lights danced across the polished lanes. He lined up, took a breath, and rolled. Strike. "Wow, Blair, you're a natural," a coworker laughed, clapping him on the back. Angus smiled genuinely, but then he saw him 2 lanes over, a man hunched, graying, struggling with a ball that swerved into the gutter. He rubbed his face, looking older, smaller, but Angus recognized him instantly. Malcolm. Angus's chest tightened. He thought about leaving, pretending he hadn't seen him, but Malcolm looked up. Their eyes met, shock, shame, then something else, regret. He hesitated, then walked toward Angus, his steps slow, uncertain. "Angus, I didn't think I'd see you here. I didn't think you'd want to." Malcolm glanced at the empty lane next to him. "Would you play around?" Angus could have said no, but he didn't. He nodded. They played in silence, Angus's strikes, Malcolm's misses. Each roll felt like a reminder of the distance between them. "Everything's gone, you know," Malcolm muttered. "The house, the cars. Your mother's staying with Fiona. We've lost it all." "I know. I thought we'd be fine. I thought you'd always be there. Because you used me." "I did," Malcolm whispered, voice cracking. "And I'm sorry. I failed you. I failed all of us." A bitter laugh slipped out. "You think an apology changes anything?" "No, but I need you to know. I was never strong, not like you. I pretended. I hid behind you." His words hung between them, raw and heavy. "I spent years trying to be good enough for you," Angus said, his voice low. "But I was never more than your bank account." "I know." Malcolm's gaze fell. "I was jealous. My own son, better than me. And I tried to take everything you had." A wave of anger surged, but it faded as Angus watched him, not the towering figure from his childhood, but just a man. Small, defeated. "Why are you telling me this now?" "Because I have nothing left to hide behind. And because I'm proud of you, Angus. I always should have been." Silence. The crash of pins echoed around them. Angus walked to the lane, threw another strike. The thunder of the pins felt like a release. "I'm not coming back," he said quietly. "I know." Malcolm hesitated, then held out a trembling hand. For a moment, Angus didn't move, but then, slowly, he reached out and shook it. His father's grip was weak but real. Angus turned to leave, the neon lights flickering over him, the noise of crashing pins fading behind. He didn't look back. Outside, the night air was crisp, the city alive. Angus breathed in, feeling a weight lift from his shoulders. For the first time, he wasn't angry. He wasn't trapped. He was just free, like a bird in the sky. Hi besties, thank you so much for watching to the end. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye.